this computer? Is it too loud? Is that what it is? Are you scared of this? Huh? Scared of this thing? Here, bite me. Bite me. Bite me.
Hello, everybody. I'm a monster. I'm a monster.
Oh, man. I'll tell you, it's been a while since I've raised a puppy. It's probably been a really long time since I've raised a puppy that small. But it's been a long time since I've raised a puppy at all. And he is turning into a little monster, man. He's getting me to run around. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? He's getting me to run around. Like, I'll take him outside to use the bathroom and he'll make me run and run and run and run around. Which is good. Because even though I'm still packing a couple extra pounds down here, I'm like 20 or 30 pounds lighter than I was when I was streaming a lot. I'm a lot more healthy, I think, which is very strange. I'm not going to bore you with it right now, but when you've gone from like kind of unhealthy to healthy again, when you're a little when you're a little older, notice how I stopped myself from cursing right there. When you're a little bit older, you know what I'm saying? I was resigned, man. I was like, I am too old to get healthy again. I'm just going to be unhealthy, is what I told myself. So I had resigned. But anyway, I need to get Menace's Twitter up because Menace is tracking this whole thing that we talked about on my last stream. And I apologize. I wanted to stream yesterday. But it took a little extra amount of time to fix my computer up. Now, that's why I didn't install. I know some of you have been wanting me to play the new Zelda game, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which I now have and will be playing with you sometime, which is going to be really freaking cool, actually. I am really surprised at how well it runs and how good everything is. It's going to be really awesome. But, yeah, I did not install it until I had done as much work on my computer as I possibly could. Anyway, so breaking news from Menace 53 minutes ago. So I don't even know how I caught this because I haven't been on Twitter. I haven't been on Discord more than just to share the streams when I do a stream. You know, I'll like say something to you guys when I do a stream and that's it. And you guys know I haven't streamed a lot, so I haven't been in there that much. And I'm just not on social media that often. But anyway, I haven't even shared this stream. What am I doing, bruh? It's almost like I'm not a YouTuber anymore and I don't remember what I have to do in the beginning of these things. Well, actually, that's not true because if you recall, I used to do this. Remember what every time I went live. Every time I went live, I would forget to do all of this and I'd have to do it. So basically, this is just like any other stream. This is just normal. Okay, now if my mouse is doing this thing where it'll cut out for about half a second. And that's what I'm trying to fix. Honestly, I think it's just I'll have to buy a new mouse. I've tried everything else. All the drivers, everything you could think of. I've uninstalled every mouse driver on my computer and I'm not gonna bore you. Okay, we are live. I know, right? Post. Okay, we've got it shared now to a couple places and we are good. So, why am I live right now with this? Because to update you before we jump over to a couple other things I want to show you, if I can just get all of my stuff together here, you know, if I can just get my stuff together, yeah. There we go. Hey guys. Let me do that again. Hold on, let me do it again. Hey guys. I'm a little off. My timing's a little off. It's okay. It's okay. My timing can be off. Breaking. Annie Elise of 10 to Life has scrubbed her Patreon of the video of 7-year-old Adrian Jones' body post-mortem. She did this while ZAV Girl was getting canceled and the video had largely flown under the radar until now. And basically, Menace also shared another image right here that shows that, and this must have been a couple days ago, but still, what's this? I'll worry about it later. My computer's acting funny. This shows that ZAV GIRL deleted almost 1 million views off of her computer. And, you know, basically the thought process from, you know, the cancel culture people out there is that ZAV GIRL needs to go away forever. And everybody, oh my gosh, Bowser, no. Bowser, where do you keep getting this stuff, bro? I just got him for chewing on my Windex, or maybe it was something different. Now he's chewing on the carpet cleaner. Where does he get this stuff? He has to be jumping. He's got to be doing some sneaky jumps, and he is a jumper. What? Yeah, I know, he's right here, but I just had to go over and take... He was chewing on that. Yeah. Okay, where was I at now? Oh, ZAV GIRL basically got canceled because she showed photos of a very young child that she got by FOIA requesting for those photos. I told you this last time. And of course, I'm going to work this towards a point that I want to make as someone that was covering a lot of the tragedy pimping last winter, and then into this summer, I have been more, you know, not looking at the true crime community other than sporadically. I don't know, for a month and a half now, something like that. So to when I peek in and then I notice these things that are happening, you know, especially when you've cleared your mind and you've been touching grass and you've been hiking and you've been fishing and you've been hanging with the family and doing cookouts and everything, it's a more normalized experience than when you're live streaming like every night and for, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 hours and looking at this stuff all the time. It starts to hit a little different. And honestly, I have made some new judgments on this whole thing of tragedy pimping and all that, but we'll get there. Though I don't care about the sub loss. People don't realize this, the way that this kind of works, and I'm shocked by it myself. You know, this will be a dent. It'll be like with Molly Golightly. It'll be a dent in the radar. Thus why on my thumbnail, you'll notice Molly is yelling, "Hey, those are my tactics." You know, but that's for more than just what I'm showing you now, of course, but you know what I'm saying. So looking back into this community, well, I don't even know. Okay, from Headstone Streams. So take a listen to this.
A liar, a grifter, and a mental patient walk into a bar.
Oh, okay, never mind. I want you to hear what here it is. Here it is. Yes. Chronicles. Okay, here we go.
Doesn't matter. Go there and pass this lady's name around. We can help. She needs our help. She disappeared on Thursday. We are running out of time to.
And now, basically, it's this whole thing where, you know, they are going to mobilize. The people that follow her are going to mobilize, and they're going to make a difference, and they're going to solve the case.
Save her.
They're going to save her.
At the end of the day, at this point, I hope somebody picked her up for ST, because at least we know she will have to stay alive for that.
Okay, now, look. Oh, man. Every time I think I'm not going to cover the tragedy pimping community anymore, and I tell myself this as I'm doing videos, you know, in the background, and I'm like, I'm not even worried about the tragedy pimping community anymore. I notice how bad it's gotten, and I don't think anyone can say that it hasn't gotten like 1 million times worse. It's gotten more than 1 million times worse. It's gotten 1 billion times worse. It's just through the freaking roof right now. And so if you didn't notice what she just said that this person should get picked up for ST, or, you know what I'm saying? Like going out and doing that thing, right? Because then it'll keep her alive longer. So let me read this to you. Team YouTube allows true crime creators like Betty that tell her audience, I hope somebody picked her up for ST, because at least now you know she has to stay alive for that. Brian Enton, I hope you stay on these people and ask for comment from YouTube why they allowed this. And honestly, I keep telling myself that because of the push from creators that actually are still trying to, you know, protect the platform to some degree, even if it's just them doing content about this, because that still helps. Criticism still helps. this might actually get fixed someday. We've seen some steps towards it getting fixed, but we've seen so many extreme things happening, and now it's just, you know, this, if it was me, I don't think I would have tag team YouTube with this post. I do think it's a powerful post to tag them on, but, you know, this is just basically kind of her sliding under the wire, because she's going to defend herself on this and say, hey, why wouldn't you want her to be arrested and then thrown in jail? Now, the thing is, what, does she have a history of this? You know, let's find this article. Let's take a look at it, because I want a little more context. Let's see, New York Post, and I don't know if they said her name. Anybody know the name of this lady? Because then I could really easily pull this up. Let's see if Brian Enton's covering it. I want to see what Brian's talking about anyway. Let me pull up Brian. We'll jump back over to Menace, and then we'll go out and look at these different things I have for you. Spread the name around, which is a call to action. This is something that, you know, we're not supposed to be trying to do on YouTube. We're not supposed to get people to physically call to action in weird ways like this. Let me see if I can get Brian to come up here. So he's covering somebody named Brian Vladek Hassel, still missing. Russian orphanage. This is, you know, I hope that Brian Enton starts working towards this problem of, you know, traffic stuff, you know what I'm saying? With this movie Sound of Freedom coming out, a lot more people are starting to basically wonder why the mainstream media is attacking that movie and why they are acting as if it's not as serious of a subject it is. But a lot of stuff has come out now since that movie's come out. There's just a lot of content on YouTube going viral. I'm not going to go into it right now, but it has put a focus on this, and a lot of people that weren't, I'd say, educated to how severe the problem is are now really, like, in one area, I don't know if it was in Georgia, might have been in Alabama, but one small area had 8 kids that were missing. We're talking children that were missing. And it was a very small area. It was just the number of children that go missing right now and that disappear and they wind up in these situations is shocking. It's terrifying. It's shocking. I was talking to my kid today and I'm like, I am so glad you have your head straight on your shoulders. You know, as much as he's got problems, I'm so glad he has his head straight on his shoulders, because it's just a terrifying world that we live in. So this is more about Carl Russell saying Carly Russell. I thought it was Carl O'Brien. Okay. Carly Russell's been located. The Hoover 911 center received a call that Carly returned home to her residence. Oh, good. Carly Russell's parents on News Nation tonight. She asked the child if they were okay maybe 2 or 3 times. She didn't hear a response from the child, and then she heard a scream. Woman who stopped for a child on road disappears. A woman that stopped for a child on the road disappeared. It's just, you can't. Oh, wait. This is her. This is her. All right. It is Carly Russell. Okay. But it just said that Carly Russell's been located, right? Okay. So what I want to know is, why did Betty assume that this is a sex worker? So let's look at Carly Russell here. Let's go to the same article that she was reading. New York Post. Many questions remain unanswered in the case of an Alabama woman who reemerged 2 days after disappearing from the side of a busy highway. As police revealed Monday, she returned home on foot. Authorities released... Oh, wait, this isn't the one. Yeah, I don't think this is the one. It would have been the earlier one. The 1 day ago. Yeah, that was 2 hours ago. Alabama woman who stopped to help toddler on highway was kidnapped and fought for her life, her boyfriend says. Yeah, I don't know why Betty would say that she would get picked up for those things. It seems really gross. People are wondering if it's a hoax, says Kathy. You know, it could be. I don't know anything about that side of it, but if it is, then that we'll have to report on it. That's just weird. Isn't that weirdness? So the boyfriend of an Alabama woman that mysteriously turned up 2 days after vanishing when she stopped to help a toddler in the middle of a busy highway says she was kidnapped and spent time fighting for her life. Carly Russell, 25, was reported safe at home Saturday night following a 2-day search, prompted by her screams over the phone when she pulled over to assist a child wandering on I-459, the Post said. Russell's boyfriend claims the Good Samaritan was kidnapped and was recovering after going through the awful ordeal. She was literally fighting for her life for 48 hours, so until she's physically and mentally stable again, she is not able to give any updates or whereabouts of her kidnappers at this very moment, Simons wrote on Facebook Sunday. His post echoes of what Russell's parents alleged earlier Sunday, that the child their daughter tried to help was actually used as a bait to lure her out of her car and get kidnapped? What? I've been going nonstop since I received the call that she was missing Thursday night. I know she would have done the same for me, so I wasn't going to give up until I saw her face again, he wrote. It was to thank all my family, friends, former teammates, and church members who called or texted me just to let me know that they're praying and here for me. You guys don't know how much that meant to me, he added. Simons did not immediately respond to the post request for a comment. So here's what you need to know according to the post. So yeah, about Carly's disappearance. She was reported missing Thursday night after stopping to help a toddler wandering alongside a busy highway. All of this is so through the roof. Out of your mind thinking about it, right? It's just, wow. It doesn't process. Like, you start to process it and then you got to take a second because you're like, what? Who? What? Kind of go back and forth. The nursing student called 911 and was talking with a family member as she pulled over on I-459 to check on the child when the line mysteriously went silent but remained open, according to Hoover Popo. When officers arrived just minutes later, they found Russell's running car, cell phone, and purse, but no sign of her or the child. A witness told the police they saw a gray vehicle parked near the scene and saw a light complexion male standing outside of Russell's car, according to Lowe. Traffic camera footage from I-459 at the mile marker 11.7 is believed to show Russell's car pulling over before she vanished. Approximately 48 hours later, Russell appeared as mysteriously as she vanished, returning to her home in Hoover before 10:45 p.m., the Hoover Police Department confirmed to WBRC. Russell was dropped off at the residence and appeared to be in shock. She was taken to a local hospital. Her parents believed the toddler that Russell spotted on the side of the road who was estimated to be 3 or 4, may have been used as bait to lure her out of her car. Wow! Russell's boyfriend claims his girlfriend was kidnapped and is now recovering from a traumatic experience. And again, that quote, he said that she was literally fighting for her life for 2 days. They plan to respect her recovery time before interviewing her, which is completely understandable. Yeah, so Kathy, where you were saying, yeah, thank God she's safe. Exactly. Hey, Leah, good to see you. Hey, Momo. Hey, Kat. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Zinga. Ramen noodles. Hey, I love ramen noodles. No, it's good to see you seeing me live here on YouTube, ramen noodles. Okay. Yeah, really weird story, but I don't understand where Betty would get this. So this dude's a Christian. He said his teammates, so he must play ball or something, right? And that's his girlfriend. They seem to be pretty normal couples. So why would Betty, out of nowhere, claim that this person should get picked up for ST?
Because at the end of the day, at this point, I hope somebody picked her up for ST, because at least we know she will have to stay alive for that.
Why would she get picked up for ST? Her car was abandoned on the side of the road with the door open. Whether it's a hoax, which I don't have any reason to believe that. I'm just repeating what somebody in the chat said that people are saying on social media. Whether it's completely real, which is my assumption right now, I have no reason to think differently, or whether it's a hoax. So if those are your two mindsets, where would ST come into play? Where would that come into play? Is she being racist? Betty, no one needs your help. Stop acting like you're trying to be part of the search. For fuck's sake, you just said you hope she was picked up for S-trafficking, you effing dirtbag, no good piece of shit. Menace, I completely agree with you on Betty's take on this. It's just hard to figure out. It's hard to figure out why does Betty's mind, why is her head programmed like this? I can only imagine it's because of the amount of time that she spends, you know, doing the nasty, like messed up things that she does. She gets these kind of things in her head constantly about other people. And I don't know if it's being Ray. I don't know if it's her being just nasty. I mean, what? I mean, you would expect that the post would write something like she has a history of drug use or she has a history of being arrested for certain things if you were going to draw that conclusion. If you were going to. And even if you had that history in this situation, I don't know why you would draw that conclusion. It just seems stupid. Okay, so is that the end of Menace's stuff? Just interesting. So many thoughts. What are yours? Jennifer Coffindaffer? Leslie Van Houten. Seriously? WTF? I have no clue what this... Oh, this has to do with Koberger. Okay. What did Menace do? No way. Did Menace do what I think he did? Oh, he did. This is a young picture of him. So he took a young picture of her? Is that what happened? I don't know, but I'm loving it. I'm loving what Menace is doing lately. All right, let's see here. Oh, no!
Just when you thought
You've got to be kidding me. Oh my God. Did Moist Critical cover this?
You'd finally seen all of the degeneracy disgusting YouTubers could ever cook up in their cursed kitchen. You get jump scared by a new outrageous, heinous act committed by a YouTuber.
Yes.
In the words of Qui-Gon Jinn, there's always a bigger fish. And in this case, that fish is evil.
Okay, if you don't know who Moist Critical or Penguin Zero is, he's a really popular commentary YouTuber and Twitch streamer. And he covers a lot of crazy things that happen on the internet, kind of like I used to, but he does it in a more kind of commentary fashion. So he's known for making really funny jokes and having this really funny style to what he does. And he's the only big YouTuber that covers this kind of thing. But he is going to talk about ZAV Girl, the person we covered in our last video. And he did this video yesterday. It already has 3 million views, and it's because Penguins has almost 15 million subscribers.
There is a new evil action that a YouTuber just proudly engaged in that I just learned about today. This comes from the true crime community. This comes from a YouTuber named ZAV Girl.
Oh my God, 3 million people. Well, don't worry, Kathy. We are going to be looking at 10 to Life in this stream in just a little bit. So even if ZAV Girl's the only one that gets called out in this video, we're still going to go down this kind of rabbit hole because I know I've heard 10 to Life. Wasn't 10 to Life the one that did that really just horrible video about Dre? Wasn't that it? Somebody in the chat can remind me.
Who charged people on Patreon for access to autopsy photos of a murdered 11-year-old boy. That is some morally demented shit right there.
Oh yeah, you gotta be literally just either completely sheltered out of your mind, cray-cray, no experience with the real world, no empathy, just empty-headed, just floating through life, or you've got to be pure evil. Now the thing is, no matter what, it doesn't matter. The amount of evil was still done. The amount of damage was still done.
It would have a demon cringing.
Yeah, it would have it. This would have a demon cringing. This is the thing, Moist Critical. This is only the tip of the true crime iceberg, bro. It's the tip of the iceberg. You got to remember, man, like bigger YouTubers like this, they don't get to focus on the true crime community to see a lot of what all of us have been covering. And you look at what ZAV Girl did, and I think I talked about it either in the beginning of this video or the end of my last stream. It's hard to remember because I had a little gap there of a couple days, but it's hard to reconcile it. Once you've been touching grass, you know, throughout the winter we're all on YouTube, and then in the summertime we're touching grass, we're getting tan, we're getting skinny. And when you touch grass, this stuff hits a lot harder.
Now, ZAV Girl is refuting some of these claims and even released her own apology video.
It wasn't an apology. It was not. Like I said, her apology goes to here and then she lies, makes excuses, and BS's, and then her apology goes to here. And this isn't even really an apology. And she says sorry here, but she doesn't say why or how or the damage she did or what she learned or whatever. None of that came out. As you recall, we watched this in the last
video explaining her side of the situation. Just a quick side note, apology videos have become 2023's Harlem Shake. This is a massive flood of apology videos that we've gotten in just like the last month.
I kind of made that same point. I just didn't do it in such a perfect way as him, but I made that same point.
YouTuber apologies were a stock option and you invested back in January of this year, you'd be a millionaire by now. It is crazy just how often this is happening.
I love this guy. I've been watching this guy for he's been on YouTube so long.
Now, her apology video might not feature a ukulele, but it's still just as shitty. But before really diving into that, I want to give a general overview of the situation. ZAV GIRL is a true crime YouTuber.
Which basically means she's most likely pure evil. 99% chance she's pure evil.
And she had just recently dove into the case of an 11-year-old boy named Gannon who was brutally murdered by his stepmother, Letitia Stouch.
I mean, brutally. Brutally.
And it is just unbelievably...
Is that Wicked? Hey, Wicked, I wondered if you were here.
Disturbing. The mother is on trial now, which I imagine is why ZAV GIRL wanted to start talking about it since it's now unfolding in court.
Yeah, you gotta find any excuse to bring it up. That's what bothers me the most about true crime YouTubers. They find any tiny excuse. When that trend graph goes whoop, even the tiniest bit, they just rush in there. Do you remember, what was it, that they had cleaners at one of the houses, and you had YouTubers on the scene wondering why the cleaners were at the house and why did the cleaners leave the house, and here's a shot of the cleaners, and it was just ridiculous.
I don't really want to get into the specifics of the case. Basically, the stepmother tortured the son, stabbed him a ton of times, shot him in the head, and then stuffed his corpse into a suitcase and started to pretend like he was missing. So she told the authorities all...
That's some pure evil, man. Like, that's some, like, you have a demon inside you. You're not a human being. You are a demon. You are, like, straight up evil. And I'm not saying, like, one of those, like, movie demons. I'm saying, like, a human being that does pure evil type demon, you know. Not supernatural. It's just a metaphor.
All kinds of different stories, like...
Hey, guys.
Like, he didn't come home after going to a friend's house. Then she even came up with some kind of fucking wild narrative about how someone that was fixing her carpet ended up raping her and then abducting the child. So she got caught lying a ton of times. Eventually...
Hey, Wicked, since you did this in my Kick stream, if you don't mind sharing my pay link for me, because I'm not going to remember to, and for some reason Streamlabs isn't working. So if you can do that for me, I'd appreciate it, because that would be awesome.
Eventually, investigators found blood on her shoes and in her car, as well as in Gannon's room, and then her DNA on a gun that was linked to Gannon's death. So they caught her and realized that she was responsible for Gannon's murder. So ZAV GIRL followed the Letitia Stouch case and said that she had recently made an official records request, which is something I didn't even know you could do as just like an average Joe Schmo. I
know, and I said the same thing. I think I tried to turn on, thank you, Wicked. I tried to turn on Streamlabs for all you guys. I don't know if it's going to work. I just tried, though.
No fucking clue that any goofball goober could just ask and get sensitive files like she received.
You don't even understand, Moist Critical. They can do this. Even if you commentate about a YouTuber, they're going to dig every little thing they can on you. If they're that kind of person, right? Now, ZAV GIRL, I have never heard her being that way. I've only heard about her doing this to the cases she covers. But the thing about true crime YouTubers, they got to defend their grift. So they have to go in and try to intimidate commentators and people that would document what they're doing away from doing that. And that's how they do it. They try to, even if that doesn't work, then they start trying to intimidate your family.
I guess I'm just very naive to what you're able to ask for, but I feel like...
Because we're normal. It would never cross anyone's mind, not even a reporter on this case, to do this. And then to release them. But then to put them where you have to pay ZAV GIRL? Hey, I'm going to pay you because you did a FOIA request. I'm going to pay you because you stole her FOIA request pictures and put them up, which is what we are hearing that 10 to Life did. Though like I've only had the initial information from Menace claims that he's got it. Now, if Menace has it, I'd almost bet you money that Menace is going to put it into a video that we can react to. And I hope he does. But he just said 56 minutes ago on Twitter, last time we looked, that 10 to Life also did what ZAV GIRL did and very quickly pulled it down after realizing what happened to ZAV GIRL. And it just boggles the mind. It tells you exactly what you need to know about these kind of YouTubers.
Those kind of things should only be made accessible to the victim's family, as well as like official sources, not just YouTubers. But that, I mean, that's just me, I guess, speaking as a goddamn Neanderthal who I guess doesn't understand how things work here.
That's how I feel anytime I'm covering anything true crime related, Moist Critical, it's exactly how I feel. I feel I'm just I feel like I'm not of this world. I feel like I'm just, you know, ridiculous. Like my brain doesn't work because I think it's immoral, it's unethical, it's nasty, it's invasion of privacy, it's mean just to do it. Even if, hey, no. He's grabbing my cords. He's down here grabbing my cords. Come here, buddy.
That was surprising, but she said that she had made an official records request and then received all of these documents, which she posted on her Patreon. I'll go ahead and play this clip from her apology video where she tries to explain that this is a little misleading. She wasn't just charging for autopsy photos, she was actually charging for everything, which included autopsy photos.
I have followed the Letitia Stout case closely, and it was actually during the trial that I made the official records request. And it was in El Paso County, Colorado. I requested all the video, audio, and written records. I made no request for autopsy photos.
I just don't believe her. I mean, you knew that what you were requesting would include them, and when you saw them, you posted them. This excuse, and I hate to do this because I already reacted to this, but it just gets me. It just yanks on me. If this was true, ZAV GIRL, you would not have posted them, let alone behind a paywall. And I know you're probably kicking yourself for this, like, man, I shouldn't have done that. But there's so many layers of I shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have thought about pulling these. You shouldn't have submitted the request to pull these. You shouldn't have then gotten the request to pull these and noticed them and kept them. You should have sent them back. You didn't. Then you said to yourself, ooh, I want to make money with these, but I can't do it on YouTube. So I'm going to have to put it on Patreon behind a paywall. And then you did it. So there's so many layers here. It's just
I wanted all trial records, but my main interests were in.
Not exactly the slam dunk you think it is here.
Exactly. Thank you, Moist. Thank you.
You still did charge for all.
Is Streamlabs just kick in? Did Streamlabs just kick in, y'all? Excellent.
All of this sensitive information, which does include the autopsy photographs, as you mentioned.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
I'll be extremely charitable here. I'll really throw you a bone and assume you're telling the truth that you didn't.
Yeah. Wouldn't she be completely, not only her, but anyone that saw these, just be completely mentally affected? Like post-traumatic stress disorder kind of affected. And then if you aren't a sociopath or a complete narcissist or just so desiring money that you would jump through any hoop to get it, then you say to yourself, okay, I can't touch these, look at these, do anything with these because I am disrespecting the parents so much because they had to go through this. This is their life. I'm seeing a picture of it. And a picture of it would normally devastate a normal person.
Specifically seek out autopsy photos.
Oh, you're exaggerating like always, Uni. I'm not. We're talking about the autopsy photos of a tortured, naked little boy. If that doesn't affect you, like in some kind of, like that's why they give, you know, those men and women who investigate internet people that are trying to go after kids, right? They have to give them X amount of downtime every X amount of time that they're on a case because they are so mentally affected. And we're talking about hardened, trained, you know, credentialed investigators have to be given downtime and recuperate. And a lot of them still kind of lose it. You know what I mean?
You still got them, and you still published them, and you still charged for them.
I mean, only a couple thousand people unsubscribed from ZAV Girl for this. Not only that, people defended ZAV Girl. Now, not a lot, but people defended her. Okay? This says something about society, let alone everything else that's going on out there. But this says something horrible about human beings. And it shows us why YouTubers like this, the true crime YouTubers, have the power to do what they're doing. Because people out there sit on their couches and they're like, nobody will know that I'm supporting this. Nobody will know that I'm really like this myself, you know? And they sit and support this garbage.
On your Patreon, they were a component of what you were charging your audience for. You legitimately set up basically a booth in your Patreon where you could go in and look at photos of a dead child and learn everything that happened to him with the murder. How do you not recognize how incredibly fucked up that is?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I meant when I was talking about her apology, and I was like, you need to talk about the damage you did. You need to talk about what you learned or something, because, you know, this is like one of those things where an apology is never going to do anything for this situation. The fact that she posted an apology was pretty incredible if you look at my reaction. I'm sitting there going like, why did you post an apology?
That is bafflingly evil. I understand desensitization is a real thing, right? Doctors get desensitized to gore and blood. Gamers get desensitized to being insulted in video games.
He's over there barking.
Over Xbox Live. I get it. But I just don't understand how someone could ever reach the point where they're desensitized to the brutal murder of a child, and so desensitized, in fact, that you're going to charge people access to it.
No, she's not desensitized. She is sensitized to the money. And that's what all these true crime YouTubers are. I mean, that's why they defend. What do you come over here if you're bored? Come here, buddy. Wicked says Zav had so many chances to do the right thing, even called out the Colorado courts for including such violating information regarding a victim, a child, for shame. There were so many options. So many options. This is so good. You have to understand how many big YouTubers watch this YouTuber. This guy is one of the most successful, biggest YouTubers on the platform right now. Him doing this puts so much attention on this subject.
Depraved fucking people that for some reason want to pay money to see photos of a dead child.
Yeah, because thank you. That's why these people do what they do. That's it. Right there, Moisty. Because people, instead of just back in the day on YouTube, these people would have just been like thrown off the platform by the viewership. They wouldn't have been able to post without just being eaten alive. And nowadays, you've got people that, even though it might only be like 500 or 1,000 out of their 100,000, will clap for these people. Yay, you did the right thing. Don't let these people get you down, Zav Girl. This is fine. And this is what we heard when Molly was doxing, Molly was stealing money, when Betty does her thing, and when all these tragedy pimps do what they do. You notice that they have people clapping and cheering them on.
So again, even if your primary goal wasn't to get autopsy photographs, you did receive them. You did publish them.
It's so gross. If we were all mad at Zav Girl just because she got the photos, I could understand what she said. But we're mad that she paywalled. She sold the photos of this boys. I can't even complete the sentence. You know what I would finish it with.
And you charged an admission fee for people to look at them. You were making money off of showing people.
I mean, that's straight up going to hell, do not pass heaven, do not collect $200. You know what I'm saying?
Someone's dead child. How can you not recognize the complete absence of humanity?
How does YouTube not ban her yet? I mean, this is the time period where people can get away with murder on YouTube. Because again, YouTube isn't a platform where murder would be killing someone else. This would be some of the most extreme things you can do. What are the most extreme things you can do with YouTube? She just did it. Get an audience to go pay you to sell autopsy photos that you FOIA'd about this situation.
And complete lack of empathy. She was also just giddy with excitement that she got her hands on all of this in the first place. Here's a community post that she hasn't.
No way! All right, let's read. Is he going to read it? Let's see if he reads
Deleted. Well, and I think she has deleted other ones, but I'll get to that in a moment. But she said, "Hey, you all, so I got a bunch of Letitia Stouch case files I'm going to be releasing. So there's some new videos and info, and also some videos they played in court, but the quality wasn't the best, so I've..."
They blurred some of the stuff. They blurred. The DA said that they blurred it. It wasn't that the quality wasn't good. It was that they blurred it, and you knew this.
The originals, where it's not a recording of a crooked TV screen. LOL. So if you're interested, keep your eyes out for my videos. I'm going to get them out as fast as I can. There's some that might take me longer because, for instance, all the text messages, I like to read them for you, so those will take me some time, but I'm going to try to get them out as soon as I can. Just a quick side note, she sucks fuck at writing. I guess she just doesn't believe in grammar. There wasn't a single comma to be had in this entire statement. It made it very difficult to read. It was just one long, random, vomited,
If only you'd experienced what we've experienced, Moisty.
evil thought that she put on the community tab here, with random capitalization of random words. I guess, you know, her pinky gets really excited and just slaps the shift key down mid-sentence sometimes to capitalize a random fucking word. But anyway, you can see the excitement here in this post. She is elated, celebrating like it's Christmas now that she has these records, because she's going to get a lot of content out of the records for her Patreon and for her YouTube audience as well.
Which equates to money, exactly. They aren't basically just doing a show where they just go collect things to show to people and topics to cover. They actually go and try to get... There's a difference between commentary, opinion, and things like what he's doing right now, telling you what's going on and telling you what he thinks about it. And there's a difference between what Betty, as we talked about, is doing and trying to tell people, hey, go out and do this. And like, I hope she got picked up for ST, and like, yeah. And then there's a difference between what ZAV Girl's doing, where she's sitting there like, what can I do to get information nobody else has, no matter how sensitive or damaging or disrespectful it is? And that's led to what we've seen, which is the bullhorning of people that have lost family members, the attacking. Remember when Molly goes and rolls down her windows and blasts her stereo playing the voice of a son to the parents and sister who just lost this guy because they don't like the son, so that makes them want to torture the parents and sister, right?
She was fucking roaring to go. And then she did. And she faced backlash even from her own community. So in the article I read about this situation, they referenced some of her community posts that I can no longer find. I don't know if they were deleted.
They were deleted. Menace to Sobriety has shown that she went on a complete deleting spree. If you weren't here a few minutes ago, but yeah, he's got this on Twitter, on Menace's Twitter.
So I just wanted to put that out there that these are no longer on her channel. But according to this article, she addressed the criticism in a lengthy statement saying, the reality of the situation is that different people feel differently.
I have that statement in my last video
about this. Some people genuinely think making a video including the autopsy photos is bad, and I respect their opinion and feelings. Other people, like myself, think of autopsy photos and the coroner explaining them as interesting and informative, and are able to view it all in a more scientific, detached way.
It's because you're straight up evil, and don't lie, it's because you want to make that cheddar cheese.
It's just one of those things where it depends on the person. Hey ZAV Girl, let me hit you with some cold water real quick. If you're the kind of person that looks at photos of a dead child...
Can you believe that she literally just admits to this in that statement? There's so much going on and so many layers to this. When you hear the worst parts of this, you get slapped in the face. So then you don't realize something small, like in a sentence in that statement, she admits that she doesn't care. So I wonder how many other instances of this she's done to look at these kind of images after petitioning for them, right? It couldn't have been the first time.
And goes over the details on how they were brutally tortured and murdered, and think to yourself, this is good content. This content's a...
That's the true crime community, Moist. That's not just ZAV Girl. It's literally 10 to Life, Bullhorn Betty, Molly Golightly, even though she's not on YouTube anymore. And you could list just a huge number of these people. They sat and did this kind of below the radar for a while, and that they've finally been getting some attention. And the attention they've been getting for about a year has led to it getting passed around every time they do this kind of thing. And now this is finally happening with this. This is the end point of the rallying that we've all been doing for a very long time.
The fucking banger. This is going on Patreon right now. I'm gonna get fucking paid for this shit. Let's go. Then you're a bad person. That's the kind of person you are. You are an evil piece of shit person is what you are. This isn't like some kind of debatable position. This isn't a hot take for me. I don't know how she even thinks that there is a large number of people that think like her where, oh, we actually just look at photos.
I don't think it's a large number. I just think that it's one of those things where a couple hundred people to them ends up seeming like way more because of how active they are, right?
Of dead, murdered children in a scientific,
like with Molly Golightly's little crew that was underneath her, you know,
analytical way. As we could learn from this, like, oh, look at that, stabbed 1,000 times. This is very interesting. I'm giving that an updoot, and here's $5. Thanks for showing me this. That's not common. She literally dropped a "I'm sorry you feel that way" over this whole situation in her community tab, I guess. That blows my mind. That blows my mind. And this is something I've always wondered about from the true crimes community, if there's ever any actual empathy for victims from channels like hers. I know that there are some true crime productions that actually aim to do good by trying.
There are some. Honestly, it's so skewed right now. I think that like I've been saying, 99%. Obviously, it's less than that. But there's just so many of these kind of YouTubers that start true crime in a way, and they are up against this big group of people, and they have to start pimping if they're going to get what they want from it.
Solve cold cases, and I think there is like a legitimate effort to do something there that's more than just exploitative, whereas what ZAV Girl does here is legitimately just exploitative.
Yeah, just like the rest of the tragedy pimps. It's not just ZAV Girl, it's all the tragedy pimps.
She is trying to capitalize off the trauma of this family and make money from it for her true crime channel.
Yeah.
I actually don't know how she sleeps at night. According to the article, the community post continued, and it went into her denying that the autopsy footage that she distributed showed genitalia.
Which it goes completely against people who had seen what she posted. It almost makes me think she could have edited her posts in some way. Maybe once she started to get a lot of heat, she changed the photos, or maybe she's just straight lying because people were just shocked that that it did contain it. So, I mean, look, we know that she took those photos, whatever she got, and she put it up, okay? So the question is, were they distributing these kind of like full photos? And if they gave her autopsy photos, I would think, yes, they did. And I mean, that was the whole thing. People were so shocked. That's what started this off. It's what lit the rocket in the beginning, was that people were just astonished that they could go and see this posted on Patreon, and it just spread like wildfire.
She said, "I understand some of you have issues with me charging money on my Patreon for the video. If I was charging money for the autopsy files alone or..."
No way, Wicked. No way. Why would she make copies of them? What? Why would anybody even pay to see them? Once you know what they are, and you go to... I can't even comment on that. That's so gross.
Or something like that, I think I'd see your point. But in this case, I spent a lot of time and worked hard putting together a video lining up the coroner's audio and descriptions along with the appropriate part of the photos she is describing and editing it together to try and make it as informative as possible for the viewer.
How does this even make sense? When you put something into an informative video, if the point is to inform, you are informing for a reason. You don't just throw random information. Hey, it has to do with this. Let's throw it in. When you do videos like this, the informative information that you add relates to what's going on, right? So I have not there, like one of the news reporters said it best. They said, why would you even show these photos involving this trial? The manner of death isn't part of it. It's not what's being contested because it's a insanity defense. She's trying to go for an insanity defense, and they're not contesting manner of death or any other thing where you would need to see these. It's not like you need to see this, this, and this so that you know that this person that's on trial is lying about this and this and this. There is nothing you gain from what information? Why wouldn't you explain that in this? Why wouldn't she explain that?
That's what I'm charging for, which I would hope you can agree is understandable.
No, I don't agree it's understandable.
ZAV GIRL, I don't agree. It's not understandable. I completely disagree. Basically, what you're describing here is you made an autopsy photo montage where you synced up the photos of a murdered child's body with the coroner's explanation. So,
I mean, the amount of work where you got to look at these photos and you got to stare at them. Anybody who did anything more than just once, like, let's say you clicked on these photos because you didn't realize that she was going to show this to you, and you saw it and you report them, and you or you go out and you let people know what you saw, or you're just disgusted by them, right? That, in my opinion, is understandable. Anybody that goes a step, oh, hey, ZAV GIRL did that, well, I'm going to go watch it. Oh, hey, that's posted, I'm going to go look at it. You're sick. You're disgusting.
Explanation on how they were murdered and died. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I don't know.
Not just you, ZAV GIRL. Anybody that wanted to look at the photos or look at her post in general, even.
Why you think that that's effort worthy of compensation, or why you think that what you did is a good thing. This isn't informative by any means.
No, and that's what I was explaining. There's no reason to put it in. There's no informative value to putting this in there.
You're not like a documentary filmmaker that's paying respect to the victims' families or anything like that. This is the most disrespectful shit ever. Like,
yeah.
Like this is beyond reprehensible.
Exactly. And that's why it's so shocking YouTube doesn't even care.
If you were aiming to create an informative video about the situation, why do you need the photos to accompany it?
I'd love to know her explanation, because that's her claim. She needed those photos to inform the audience that watches the video of some specific information that just isn't there. It's not possible to go there.
You could just have the coroner's explanation of it.
Yes!
You don't need the photos there. Clearly, the reason you had them there is because you knew people would maybe pay for morbid curiosity to see.
Yes. Or it's either morbid curiosity or it's pervy stuff.
Murdered child, because there are some sick fucks in the world. That was clearly the intention behind having the photos there. Like, there's no other argument you can make for it, because again, if you wanted to just make a piece of content that was supposed to outline the horrors of this case, you could do that without showcasing the child's body. Like, that's basic common sense. But I want to make it clear. Even if you never published the autopsy photos, I still think what you did was exploitative and disrespectful to the victim and the victim's family. What you did here is not just provide details to a case to try and educate people on something horrible that happened or anything. You turned this case into a spectacle for your community to, like, give you impressions and engagement on.
Did you hear this, everybody? Did you hear this? So, turning the event into a spectacle, right? There's options to be able to inform. There's options to be able to commentate. There's options to be able to cover without gossiping, without pimping, tragedy pimping, which is like what ZAV GIRL did, or what you've seen with the Bullhorn bullshit, and what you've seen with the Gabby Petito case where people went to certain measures. There is a very easily discernible. It's not where, see, I say this because the tragedy pimps will convince you that there is an argument to be made that they're not doing anything wrong, or that it's normal. It's only normal if you're evil. It's only normal if you are twisted, if you're out of your mind. Not just what ZAV GIRL did, the act of taking grieving people and going to this. How long have I been saying this now? A year? Grieving people, and instead of saying to yourself, how do I report on this story so that I don't do something that will affect the grieving people negatively, affect or disrespect the grieving people or exploit the grieving people? Because these things can be done. You can easily cover a story, document a story, give an opinion on any, because again, when you make a YouTube video, that's what you're supposed to be making it for. The money and all of the other parts of it are supposed to be, did you do a good job? Do people want to support you? Do people like your stuff? Well, here's this for that. That's what this earns. It's not, hey, I want to make this money. I need to make this money any way I can. What do I need to do to make this money, even if it's gross and disgusting and shitty, right? And that's the difference between a news reporter, commentator, documentarian, or an opinion giver and what tragedy pimps do, okay? Because on the internet, we are surrounded with so many people that just are, I think it's because of a stage in their life that they're in, or they're trolling, right? We'll just take that off the table because it's just too easy. I think some people are in a stage in their life where it could be hard for them, and so they're not giving things thought, or they're just the type of people that don't think about anything, or maybe they're just out of their mind. Maybe they're medicated, maybe they're high, right? But whatever reason it is, you've got large swaths of people. We're seeing more and more and more people that are in that kind of stage where they can't look at a serious topic and actually realize what it is that their opinion, what they're saying and what they're doing. And the internet gives you that screen that allows people to do that more and more and more. But it's gone beyond just that. It's gotten to this point.
The goal of what you did here does not seem to be information or anything like that. The goal from you seems to have tried to be like a piece of entertainment about it, which is so fucked up.
I didn't think any of the images were new. These photos were already public, although
You're lying. And this is what bothers me. And this was at the end of her video. Excuse me, the end of her video. They weren't public. That's what made this so bad. None of this was public. And this makes me question other parts of her apology. Remember those parts of her apology where we're like, now hold on. People said that the genitalia was shown on Patreon. And it's almost like ZAV GIRL is lying and saying it wasn't. And how does anybody know? Because nobody in their right mind actually went and looked at it or paid for it after it was, realized what was there. Everybody avoided it and reported it. So I think she is, because she's willing to lie here, I think she was lying in other parts of her apology, but that's my
video I
take.
Put together with the coroner's voice was my own creation. I chose to put the video on Patreon because of the sensitive nature of the evidence.
Sensitive nature of the evidence. And that blew my mind so much because it doesn't do anything. There's no difference. It's still public on Patreon. People just have to have a fee to get in, it's not like you made the fee $50 or $100. It's not like you put this big disclaimer up like, yo, it's very sensitive shit or anything like that, right? No, you made it very easily accessible on Patreon. So and not only that, you know how many other YouTubers grabbed this and put it up themselves? Let's see if I got it right here. I think I do. If I can, Anna Elise of 10 to Life has scrubbed her Patreon of the video of 7-year-old Adrian Jones' body post-mortem. She did this while ZAV was getting canceled, and the video had largely flown under the radar until now. And of course, as I was saying way earlier, so let me repeat this, Menace hopefully will make a video on this or give an explanation to this or something. If he doesn't, I'm going to reach out to him and see if he'll actually, do it. Because this is other people out there. What we knew when we heard about ZAV GIRL was that a couple smaller YouTubers grabbed it and then put it up. We'd even heard that people had put it up on YouTube, for God's sake. But now we're finding out that 10 to Life, which is a pretty bigger other channel, has done the same thing that ZAV GIRL did, okay? And we're seeing, by the way, 10 to Life has been accused of tragedy pimping many, many times. So this would be like the nail in the coffin for 10 to Life. Wait, is this the same one we watched? I think it is. Yeah, we've watched that last time. So let's get back to it because we're almost done.
Putting the evidence behind a paywall meant added security.
So dumb. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
And I naively thought they wouldn't be made public.
Well, that was certainly a dumb thing to listen to.
Yeah, thank you, Moist. It makes me feel so fucking good that his reaction to this is basically the same kind of response that I had.
On Patreon is still making the information public. You took private information.
Thank you. It's exactly what I said. That's my exact take. Thank you.
And you published it on Patreon. A paywall does not mean that it's still private. It is
I know.
easily accessible to anyone that wants to fork over a few doubloons to access it.
Yeah.
Thus, the
Just a
information
couple.
is no longer private.
The video I created with a voice from the coroner wasn't meant to be shared outside of Patreon.
Shut
and
up.
I chose not to put the photos on
Shut
YouTube, a public
up.
forum, where the views
Shut
would have
up.
allowed me to make more money.
Liar.
And the photos would be seen
Liar.
by more people.
Well,
Liar. I looked at her average views when I did the reaction, and looking at how many views that she gets, she would have made more money from 10 people grabbing it from Patreon than she would have from the normal views that she gets on YouTube. She's lying.
you're such a saint. What an angel. She took a pay cut by only posting the murdered child autopsy photos on Patreon behind a paywall there, instead of posting it on YouTube, which I don't think you could even do on
Yeah, exactly. You can't post it on YouTube. You cannot.
YouTube to begin with. What the fuck? What are you talking about?
She's lying, Moisty. She really posted it there because these tragedy pimps, and he doesn't know this, these tragedy pimps have started to figure out that they can use Patreon due to its lesser, not as many people will pay for tragedy pimping bullshit. And the people that do, like, imagine that, you're watching ZAV Girl on a normal basis and you're like, well, I want to grab some of her Patreon stuff. Now that's different than if you want to support ZAV Girl, okay? Like maybe you just saw a couple of the things she did and you want to throw her some support. I can understand that because I've done it before and then I've been like, okay, I should have never supported that person. But my point is, people that literally are okay with what she's paywalling and how she's doing this and not having the cognitive ability to recognize the tragedy pimping. You get where I'm going with that?
Here.
Because the video was placed behind a paywall, rumors about the images not being blurred or being different than what was shown in trial started to surface.
They weren't blurred. They weren't. And according to the people that saw it, it showed the every part of that boy.
No photos shows genitalia.
See, you should have been honest through the rest of this. That's how this works. If you would have been honest through this, then maybe we could take you at face value here. We can't do that now.
I have made no jokes about the photos. I don't even cuss on my channel. And I would never allow derogatory.
You don't cuss on your channel. Do you realize that you could get on your channel and literally every word that comes out of your mouth be every curse word under the sun for hours on end every day for years, and it wouldn't even come close to equaling the evil and the messed upness and the sheer disgustingness of 0.2 seconds of what you did on Patreon, right? You do get this. You aren't. It's almost like in every tragedy pimp, they think they're moral or something while they're tragedy pimping.
Remarks about a victim.
It's crazy.
I realized my intentions were not communicated well.
This is deflecting. It's not your intentions that people were questioning. The entire act of what you did here is a problem. It is.
Now see, Moisty, this is how tragedy pimps constantly fool people into actually following them. They're always playing this game where the thing that happened, which should be the thing that we talk about, the major parts of it, they constantly will go and try to put focus down to something that's not as serious, and you'll never see them publicly ever give focus to the main point. It's always the lower thing, and this is common in moving goalposts. It's common in many other types of tactics that are dishonest or fallacious tactics when it comes to trying to protect themselves from the actual issue at hand.
It is
and every tragedy pimp lives off of this.
What you did. It has nothing to do with your motivation behind doing it. The fact you did it at all is the problem. There's no intention that justifies it. There just isn't. There isn't an argument you can make that will...
I had the intent to inform. Doesn't work. I had the intent to educate. Nope. I had the intent to save lives. Nope. I had the intent for justice. Nope.
In any way, shape, or form, make it...
Every tragedy pimp. Hey, we're down here bullhorning this house because we want justice for this. But bullhorning this house not only doesn't get justice for this, it causes many innocent people to have their privacy messed with, their peace messed with, all these problems you're causing, right? But they'll constantly say, no, justice for them. while they're doing the thing. And it's crazy because people that fill into those live streams, yes, there might only be like 50 or 100 of them, but the point is they go into these live streams, they're watching the tragedy pimping, they just buy that shit hook, line, and sinker. They don't even think about it. They're just like, wait a minute, so bullhorning the house is going to get justice for that? Then I support you fully forever.
Seem reasonable to have published the autopsy photos in any capacity.
I'm goofy.
Or made all of those private documents accessible through anyone that pays directly to you for the information. And again, even if you did make all of this publicly accessible without a paywall, releasing all of this kind of shit, the autopsy photos, coroner stuff, all of that, are capitalizing off of it. I still think there wasn't really a good explanation for anything you did in this whole situation. So it has nothing to do with your fucking intentions. There is nothing you could have done that would have made this understandable in any capacity. So, yeah. She then goes on to say that her Patreon did get shut down for it, which sounds about right. That makes a lot of sense considering what she posted on there. Yeah. And, yeah.
I mean, imagine it was a male that did it. There'd be a lot more issues brought up for some reason. I don't know why. All those issues should be brought up now, but they're not when it comes to a female doing it.
That's kind of the whole situation in a nutshell. That's about it. See ya.
Peace. Now, here's what I want to make sure everyone is clear when it comes to me, if I can get my freaking mouse to work, because it's been messing up. I don't care if you're ZAV Girl. I don't care what your intent was under the sun, just like I don't care what hers were. I don't care if you... Now, I do give credence to people that were patrons of ZAV Girl that might have clicked into it not knowing what they were going to see and immediately jumped out and immediately got pissed and immediately filed reports or whatever you did to protest what you were seeing. But anybody who supported ZAV Girl knowing what she did, anybody who went to ZAV Girl's Patreon and paid the money and got those photos, I don't care why. I don't care unless you're a police officer. I don't care why. A lawyer that's working to sue her or something. I don't care why. You are sick. And I'm drawing the line. The line's drawn. You're sick. You're twisted. You're evil. You're just as bad as she is. And when it comes to people that are still supporting ZAV Girl after this, and no, I'm not saying you got to cancel ZAV Girl. I'm saying that if you're okay with tragedy pimping to this degree being on any platform, then you're also right there. You're right there too. So let me just make sure that's clear because, you know, for some reason, there are people that think that we're too harsh with tragedy pimping. We're too harsh with these people here at UNIRock. Newsflash, we ain't too... Let me see if we got other things to look at right now, because I told myself we're not going to go more than an hour and a half, and I want to try to go an hour when I do these streams so that I'm still able to put focus on the videos that we're looking at. So the first thing we looked at today was Alabama woman who allegedly pulled over on a highway to help a 3 or 4 year old toddler that was just walking around near a highway. Claims that she was kidnapped for 48 hours. She's home. And I hope that, I mean, it's such a bad story because like some people are saying that the story doesn't make sense and that they might think it's a hoax or they might think it's a lie or something like that. And I think I understand that people feel that way because they just don't want to think that a 3 or a 4 year old would be walking on the side of the road at all. Then a highway. Then they don't want to think that a 3 or 4 year old would be used as bait to trap a woman and kidnap a woman. But here, another part of this whole story is like, how did she escape? How did she get away? I mean, there's a lot to think about. So anyway, we're looking at this and we're trying to figure it out. Again, we've got the foresight to know that she's home, because when other people were looking at this story, she was still missing. She had just disappeared. So we were looking at Menace's Twitter, where not only did he post now 2 hours ago, but when we went live, it was 56 minutes before we went live, about 10 to life, uploading some kind of photos that she took down off Patreon, very similar to the ZAV GIRL situation. We'll have to get more information on this on the next stream, which will hopefully be tomorrow, but it might be the day after because I might have to work again. I've been doing some work, so that's why I haven't been streaming as much. But when you look at what Bullhorn Betty had to say about this story, of course, she says, and I quote, "I hope somebody picked her up for trafficking, because at least we know she's going to be alive for that." So it's hard to fathom what Betty is saying. This is where we were going when we got kind of diverted into what we were looking at. Is Betty saying that she hopes the police picked this person up and arrested her for trafficking herself or pimping herself out? That couldn't be what she's saying. That doesn't make sense. The police would have towed her car. She wouldn't be missing at that point, right? So Betty must be meaning that she hopes that this person is being trafficked by a trafficking ring, because if that's the case, then she wouldn't be murmur. So that's Betty's point. So if any time you have to open your mouth and say, "I hope that this person was picked up and put into a T ring," you're evil. You are demented. You're messed up in the head. This isn't commentary. That's not a normal opinion. I'm starting to ask myself if she literally does this kind of thing on purpose, because I've been skipping several things that Betty has been doing and not bringing them to you, because again, as I told you in the beginning of the stream, I was thinking about not covering Tragedy Pimpin' anymore at all. I'm starting to think that they're using this kind of rhetoric in order to get attention. But then again, we'll never know. So, I don't know. I just wanted to give you I didn't get to give you my end thought on this earlier, and that's my end thought. Obviously, my end thought is she's trying to say, I want her sold into a ring, because if you're sold into a ring, you're still alive, right? Now, I won't go as far as to talk about the reports from people that have been sold into these rings, who say that they would have rather died than had to experience what they experienced. I won't go into that. And of course, this is crazy because Betty stating this, there's a popular movie out right now called Sound of Freedom, and it has just devastated the box office. It went up against Indiana Jones 5, which was a disgustingly horrible movie. I actually have a review for Indiana Jones. It's not a review, it's an opinion piece, but I have a video essay to talk about Disney with Indiana Jones 5 and have you seen the Seven Dwarves? Okay, now my video essay obviously goes into some choice decisions about remakes like The Little Mermaid and these live action remakes of The Little Mermaid. We've got a live action remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So I've been studying a little bit about Disney in this story. Now, if you don't know this about me, I love Aesop's fairy tales. I love Grimm's fairy tales. I love any old folklore, any old folk, not only religious text, but a folk kind of story or a passed down story. I've covered these kind of things many, many years, and I'm just very fascinated by these things. Now, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, of course, I believe is a German story. You know what? Let me go ahead and bore you. I can stream until I get a text message. So until I get that message, Let me try to give you just a little bit of see if I can find the folklore here. Here we go. Okay, got both. Okay, so we've got the film, I believe. Let me see if this is a Disney film. It is. I believe it definitely looks like it is. Okay, so let me just give me a second. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is a 37 American animated musical fantasy film produced by Walt Disney Productions and released by RKO Radio Pictures based on the 1812 German fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm. I love the Brothers Grimm. I love all of the Aesop's tales, these tales. All of them are excellent, and they're great to tell your children, read to your kids, you know. It's actually the first film Disney did that had massive success in this way. You see what I'm saying? It was something that got Disney making these animated films from what I've been seeing. Now, I'm not saying that you should trust every detail that I'm giving you because, of course, I just started studying this deeper. But that's at least what I've got to now. But it all is based off of what you know is this 19th century German fairy tale that is today known widely across the world. The Brothers Grimm published it in 1812 in the first edition of their collection Grimm's Fairy Tales, numbered as Tale 53. The original German title was Schneewittchen, a Low German form, but the first version gave the High German translation Schneewittchen. I didn't say it right. And the tale has become known by the German by mixed form, the Schneewittchen. The Grimms completed their final revision of the story in 1854, which can be found in the 1857 version of Grimm's Fairy Tales. And it featured elements as magic mirror, the poisoned apple, the glass coffin, the characters of the evil queen, the seven dwarves. The seven dwarves were first given individual names in the 1912 Broadway play and then given different names in Walt Disney's 37 film. So there's some parts of this story, obviously, that are kind of the way they are for a reason. In fact, Snow White is called Snow White not because it's like her first and last name, but because her skin is white as snow. And her skin is white as snow because she is born of the non-working class. She's born into a situation where she doesn't have to be outside a lot. She's very protected and seen as a beauty and a marvel, right? And that's why the evil queen, who considers herself the fairest in the land, the most beautiful in the land, is challenged due to Snow White's looks or complexion, the way she is. And also the reason that she's challenged, the thing that really probably angers the queen is, of course, the fact that the queen's looks lets her have an edge in being the evil queen, in ruling, in having men do what she wants, with the reputation of being the fairest in the land. And when she's looking into the magic mirror and she asks who the fairest in the land is, of course, Snow White becomes the fairest in the land, or the most beautiful, and that's why the queen needs to set about her evil plot. And anyway, Disney's new remake basically makes it to where Snow White isn't a love story, which is a key, fundamental, foundational element of Snow White. And of course, it is that way because that's what people were dreaming of doing. They're growing up and getting married and having a family and falling in love. The family unit. And these are all things that Disney is moving away from in their new version of Snow White. And so I had to bring that up. I know a lot of you guys don't want me to talk politics. I'm not. I'm bringing it up for a very specific non-political reason, okay? Because with those things changed, now they've made another more extreme change to Snow White, where they've taken Snow White and she's now being played by a woman who isn't Snow White skin. She's, I think, Italian or something, or whatever. I don't know. I haven't paid attention to it. Anyway, though, she has darker skin. Now, that I don't care about that. I care about actually I do, because I think it does kind of, you know, they could have at least done something, you know, to make her look like Snow White more, but who cares? The point is, these are the dwarves. These are the dwarves. The 7 dwarves. These are the 7 dwarves. There's only one dwarf is an actual little, and I was going to say little person. I don't know if that's offensive or not, but whatever word I have to use to be non-offensive, there's only one of them. Okay? One person affected by dwarfism, which is the medical term for a person who's shorter than everybody else due to a medical condition, okay? And here's the problem. See, they say that the reason they made the changes to the fairy tale, obviously, is because they want to be progressive. They want to be new world and have agency for Snow White, and they want Snow White to be powerful, and they want her to be, you know, in control. They don't want Snow White to have to get with a man and all this stuff. And so they thought about it and said, well, the dwarves can't just be 7 dwarves that are all white and with these white beards and all this. They need to actually represent non-dwarven, non-people with dwarfism. And they need to be even different than that. They look like a bunch of Starbucks employees. It's like they went into a Starbucks and literally didn't even have them change their clothes and just yanked them out of Starbucks and said, hey, will you be in our movie? And they're all like, well, yeah, because Starbucks hardly pays us anything. And Disney's like, well, we ain't gonna give you that much money, bro. Well, we'll let you do it. So the point, though, many people have come out and said, you know, this is like the snake eating its tail. It's like when a monster or a monstrous kind of way of thinking that isn't based on good. It's not done for true good reasons. It's not done for truth. It's not done for honesty. It's done for more, let's say, non-thought through reasons or reasons that are just pure evil at their core. The snake eats itself alive, thus killing itself, choking on its own tail and dying. And that is to represent how evil things, wrong ways of thinking do not lead to good things. They lead to bad things. So what are the bad things that it's led to here? Obviously, there are a lot of people who could have played this role like this guy that now aren't going to have a job, but they would have. Also, it's just kind of like they said that they can't call them dwarves and that it's offensive, and that's why they need to call them magical creatures, and it's why they need to change them. And it goes in line with the story changes that they're making to Snow White. Now, I hope I've given you a good enough kind of descriptor here for the issues with this production. It's, you know, the perversion or corruption of the idea that went into the changes that they made initially, when taking those idealistic changes and pushing them to their max, they end up doing harm to the people that they claim they're trying to give attention to. One of the most, I'd say, kind of like crazier parts of this is the fact that you've got, you know, let's see, 7 magical creatures. Because in this story, these weren't human beings that were affected by a medical disorder that are short. These were actually dwarves, like a magical creature. In the idea of the fairy tale, these guys were actually not human beings. They were magic. And it's like we're getting... where do we tie these two things together? Is it just because the name of the dwarves is the same as a medical condition? And why are we changing things? You know, it's like saying that the elves in Middle Earth now are going to get offended if, you know, why a magical creature, an imaginary creature can't be offended, right? Because there's a lot more characteristics to the dwarves in Snow White's fairy tale than just the fact that they're short. There's a lot of other characteristics. Let's see. Let me see. Snow White. I want to read about the dwarves, but I don't think I'll find anything in Wikipedia that'll actually tell me about the dwarves. Let's scan the Wikipedia article and we'll see. Here, let me just search the word. EWA. Okay, here we go. Oh, they've actually got an entry in Wikipedia. 7 dwarves. The 7 dwarves are a group of 7 dwarfs that live in a tiny cottage and work in the nearby mine. Snow White stumbles upon their house after being told by the huntsman to flee from the queen's kingdom. The 7 dwarves return home and immediately notice someone has snuck in. The house has been cleaned. During their loud discussion, they discover the sleeping Snow White. She wakes up and explains to them what happened. The dwarves take pity on her, saying, if you'll keep the house for us and cook, make the beds, wash, sew, and knit, and keep everything clean and orderly, then you can stay with us and you shall have everything that you want. They warn her to be careful when alone at home and not to let anybody in while they're delving into the mountains. So these are the kind of dwarves that dig in the mountains. It's the whole idea, you know, it's the same kind of concept that J.R.R. Tolkien gave to his dwarves, which were different than human beings. They were not human. Just like elves were not human. Okay, I don't think we're going to get... Oh, here we go. We got a whole article on this. Oh, wow. They actually did add something into Wikipedia. So, as a prominent cultural portrayal, the 7 dwarves have been recently controversial among people with dwarfism. I don't understand why. People with dwarfism are not magical creatures. They are human beings. One critical scholar has said it followed the conventions of a freak show and perpetuated contemporary prejudices in the construction of people with dwarfism. No, it didn't. Because they weren't a freak show. They were 7 dwarves that went into mountains and searched for gems and stuff, because dwarves in that kind of fantasy setting, that's what they do. It's an entire race of people, a magical race of people that can live underground. They can see in the dark, and they have a bunch of they have the ability to sense ores and gems and precious stones in the mountain. And dwarves are known in mythology, in fantasy, to delve too deep. And when the dwarven culture delves too deep in the mountains, they break through into the deeper regions of the earth, where giant creatures are then stirred from their rest, from their cage, or from their natural habitat. And that's how dragons, that's how Balrogs, that's how these demonic creatures wind up into the surface of the world in some stories. It's because the dwarven people, they have a tendency to dig too deep. In fact, you guys know that I play a video game called Dwarf Fortress. It's one of my favorite games because it simulates an entire colony of dwarves that are digging in a mountain. And one of the endings to that game is if you dig too deep, you will break through into hell. And hell is a different realm that's full of colonies of demons and giant monsters. And when you break through into it and they have a path to the surface, they come up and they go through the entire world. Because Dwarf Fortress simulates the entire world, remember? Dwarf Fortress is a video game that tries to basically respect and focus upon that mystical kind of characterization of dwarves. So others in the dwarfism community express different opinions. Professional wrestler Dylan Posty, better known by his ring persona Hornswoggle, voiced his disagreement with Dinklage in an interview where he, among with other dwarf actors, accused Dinklage of virtue signaling and opined that Dinklage's condemnation of the 7 Dwarfs portrayal and Disney's replacement of actors of a possible starring role in a film based on an established property, denouncing Dinklage as hypocritical and selfish, trying to take roles away. Comedian Brad Williams also expressed a similar sentiment. And honestly, it is true. And I just saw somebody talking about how Peter Dinklage was in a previous movie where he made fun of dwarves or something like that. And I don't remember what it is, or I'd pull it up for you, but it does kind of lend credence to the fact that Dinklage is being hypocritical. Anyway, I got this entire... I'm not going to keep talking about this because I don't want to bore you, but I've got this entire thing on this whole 7 Dwarfs controversy, the Little Mermaid controversy. Disney actually is falling apart, if you guys didn't know. Falling apart at the seams. I encourage you to go to YouTube and search for I want to see if this will bring it up, the fall of Disney, because I've seen some excellent videos people have been making. Yes, this is the one. No, this isn't the one. So I guess Critical Drinker made this one 5 months ago, but let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, Indie Mian TV, he's made some really good ones. He's made some really good ones. What was that one? Disney, The Death of an Empire. I don't think I saw that one. No, I haven't seen that. It's only 3 days ago. If I see some, I'll share them on Twitter. I've been trying to remind myself to share some of these videos that I've been finding on Twitter. So I wear my headphones whenever I do anything. So I'm kind of always listening to stuff no matter what I'm doing. If I'm walking the dog, if I'm giving kids a ride, if I'm picking something up, if I'm even working and doing some things, I always have the headphones on, always processing content. And I'll try to remind myself when I hit one of those really good videos to share it on my Twitter. So for those of you that follow my Twitter, you can find these videos and watch them with me. Also, I'm taking a stab at my own video essay because I'll just give you a little bit more what I'm talking about. Now, with Disney making these changes, they did the same thing to Indiana Jones 5, which just came out in theaters, and it completely bombed in the box office, and it was beaten by Sound of Freedom. That's the whole reason, that whole thing that Betty is talking about. Wow, I hope she was sold into ST so she's not dead. I think Betty said that because Betty probably has watched Sound of Freedom. Now, Sound of Freedom is a pretty good movie from what I've been told. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen clips. I've seen sections, but I haven't seen it. And it does shine a light on this extremely disturbing thing that is going on right now in this world. It is not something that's been defeated. It's not something that we've gotten away from. People will go out and virtue signal and scream about the dumbest, most first world problem kind of things, when in reality, our world is still plagued by slavery. Right now, there are people that are in slavery right now as we speak, and plagued by trafficking even in the United States. It's a major problem. I was watching an interview with some of the people in Sound of Freedom. I forget who it was. And they were talking about how a large number of children are actually brought. They are ST'd, as Betty said, into this country so they can be used to make money here in the United States, showing that there's not only the issue of children being kidnapped here in the United States, but also that there is a client base in the United States. So it goes both ways, and we are surrounded by evil at the core of our society. And this is why when I look back and I notice that, you know, it was a breath of fresh air or an assurance, regardless of the situation, when normal society was focused on, you know, wanting people that are accepted into society, like accepted into the movies, accepted into the radio, accepted as role models. Those people would have to be good people, and they would have to kind of be people that were against these kind of things. You never saw a person that would go, like, even like the political leaders that are right now advocating in ways that they're advocating that will excuse these kind of things or allow these kind of things to happen nowadays. They, 20 years ago, if you look at their early career, were vehemently against things to the maximum degree. And I'm not going to name any names, and I'm not going to go in depth because I don't want to get political. The point that I'm making, though, is that now we see that there is a section of our society that is okay advocating either for making excuses and advocating for this kind of thing to not be gone. While you're sitting here complaining about these tiny social problems, but you're never saying a word about the actual problems that are destroying our world right now, that are just multiplying and multiplying, and you're sitting here focused on crying about how one thing's going on that's just, I won't name anything, but you know what I'm talking about. And then you go over and you look and they're not saying a word about this kind of thing. I think that a movie like Sound of Freedom, and I think the shift away from Disney, because they are embodying the kind of concepts that lead to these things happening, and they're not ever speaking out against this. And I'll give you some examples. The movie Sound of Freedom, when it came out, was attacked by certain mainstream media organizations. And it doesn't make sense. If you actually look at the plot of the movie, because I have read the plot, I didn't watch the plot, I read the plot. And I've seen a review of it too, but if you look at plot of the movie and then ask yourself, why would they be attacking the movie with the lies they're attacking the movie with? It's just, you don't, it's a bad thought process to go down, because you know that I'm one of the people that stood firmly against the PG conspiracy theory and the Q conspiracy theory and all these conspiracy theories that completely exploited these issues so they could cook up conspiracy theories to make content online that would get them paid. And I was, for years, speaking against that and putting out content completely against that exploitation of these topics, discussing how when people lie about these topics, it does just as much damage as people that either advocate for these topics or completely stay silent on these topics. Lying actually does the same damage. So for me to sit here and say that it's crazy we can't get we can't have like an actual conversation about this without these types of media agencies coming out and attacking it, it's very disturbing. Now, I can't go much deeper than that here on YouTube. You'll have to go over to Kick to hear me rant about things on a deeper level there. One of the things I would bring up if I could is I think it's Anne Blavatsky, but it's Blavatsky's books. Anne Bailey's books. Anne Bailey's books, and what was that guy's name? What? They don't even name him as the most evil man in the world. What's the dude's name that's the most... Is Dead GPK in the stream? What's the dude's name who's the most evil man in the world? Do you guys remember? Grace, I completely agree. I completely agree, Grace. Oh, what's his name? What? Aleister Crowley. Back with old Aleister Crowley, the old English occultist, had a religion, Thelema. Sometimes they'd call it Theosophy or Thelema, but Crowley and Anne Bailey put together books and posted those books under the Lucis Trust. And if you look into where the teachings were taught, it will terrify you. That's as far as I can go on YouTube. I'm going to head over to Kick, I believe. Let's see. Oh my gosh, is it almost 9? I don't think I have time to do a Kick stream tonight, y'all. I don't think I have time. If you like what I'm doing, even though I've had to slow down a little bit, I won't go into why. I was about to and I stopped myself. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to support me, it would be very helpful and excellent. It wasn't Helena Blavatsky. It was the other name I said. Bailey. Anne Bailey. And Blavatsky, there is a Blavatsky that was connected to them. I don't know if it was Helena, though. I'd have to look at it. If you want to support me, though, it's paypal.me/UNIRock or money sign UNIRock on Cash App. I do have a Patreon, but we don't use it now because everybody just joins the channel if they want to do that. Instead of Patreon, they join whichever one of my channels they like the best, I guess. rockAlot or UNIRock2. I don't care how you support me. If you want to support me, that's how you do it. Okay? I'm going to jump out of here. I'll try my best to be back here tomorrow. And I'm going to keep trying to reduce the length of my streams to an hour and a half at the max. An hour is the key time, and I would eventually like to get less than that too. I'd like to get down to 30-minute mark because I want to do multiple streams with multiple topics separated out. It's not the smartest thing to do because honestly, as I get going in a stream, I can hit the 1 hour mark and see my stream start to pick up massively. So I don't know what the best thing to do is with the type of content that I'm going to be hitting. Those of you that like more of my let's call it pre-tragedy pimping kind of content, you guys are going to be happy. Those of you who like my tragedy pimping content, you don't have to worry. I'm still going to be doing it, just not as much. I don't really think we need to be I really don't think we need to be making tragedy pimping content as much, honestly. Seeing how ungrateful and disrespectful and how many liars and manipulators are on both sides of that aisle. Yeah, I really don't think there's any place for anyone that's actually trying to handle the worst of the worst and trying to, you know, to bring balance back to the force there. It's just, they don't want balance. They'd rather just try to keep playing their evil games so they can keep making their very minimal amount of money on the platform. And if that's the kind of grift they want to grind, I'm not going to be a part of it. So I do think we need to make less tragedy pimping content, but I do think, again, that because of the victims, because of the actual victims of tragedy pimping, which are the families and even sometimes the victims, but the families and friends and the people around the people who suffer the tragedies, I still think it needs to be discussed to some degree. So I will add it into my catalog of things, but I'd like to get this new fraud raiser handled with those two fraud raisers where one fundraiser on the same topic says one thing and then the other fraud raiser on the same topic claims the opposite facts of what happened, and both of these fundraisers made massive amounts of money, and one of them by default is going to be absolutely positively a fraud raiser. Can't have it both ways. The facts of each case are completely opposite to each other. They claim opposite things happen and raise money off those opposite things. I'd like to get that video done. And I've been looking into the fraud raiser with the woman on TikTok who faked her cancer in a very childish way. And I've been looking into what happened with all of that. And I don't know if I'm even going to make a video on it now. I might do a live stream and update you on what happened. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be worth a video. The time it takes me to edit and script and get a video done, that topic we might not add to the catalog of videos on a fraud raiser. And it might just be a quick live stream to update you. It's kind of, and the reason is there's not much to be contested there. It's almost just obvious that this person ran a fraud raiser, got busted due to their own incompetence and stupidity, collected the money, dipped with the money, and then got in trouble by the police for doing what she did. So, you know, I don't know if, unless there's a development that I haven't found yet, I don't think I'm going to make a video on that fraud raiser for those of you that care. So yes, Beyond. Yes, I know you want me to check my email. I will check it. It's just probably not going to be in the next couple days, but I definitely will check it, okay? And I know you're making a petition, right? Isn't that what you're doing? Yeah, you're doing a good thing, so. I'll be back. I think I got everything done. I'll be back. I wish my mouse would work. Stop the presses. I got to show you guys something. This is going to blow your mind. Tears of the Kingdom or Link's Awakening. Oh, this Tears of the Kingdom game is awesome. It is awesome. It's the new Zelda. It's the new Zelda that's out. I want to show you guys that we now have Tears of the Kingdom to where I have a Switch Lite. So there's no way for me to stream to you my Switch Lite. But now I've figured out a way that I can stream to you the games that I have on my Switch Lite, if I can get it to start up here. I just want to show you that it's working. It'll only take a second. Oh, here it is. Oh, come on, bro. Here, let me turn on music real quick. I just gotta... Alright, let me see. Let me show you guys this, because this is gonna be awesome. Oh, I know what's wrong. Hold up. I might have to reconnect my controller. Oh, it says it's good. Ah, I see. All right, there we go. Got it. All right. Come on, man. Come on, come on. I've connected my controller, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, man. All right, there you go. All right, there it is. Okay. All right, now let me just get my input on here. Here, let me restart it. No matter what, this is going to be cool. Might take me a second, but this is going to be cool. Yeah, I break everything I touch. I break everything I touch. All right. While it's doing that, I can fix my camera. Yeah, it's all right. There we go. All right, I've been saving this to play with you guys because I want you to experience the story. I'm just amazed at how awesome this is. This is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Oh. I didn't even see that last time. Oh, yeah. Okay. So there's his sword, but it's broken. Okay. Can I use it? I'm not going to play this. I just want to show you that how pretty it looks. It looks really pretty. I guess I can use it. All right. Yeah, look at this. Like, looks really good. I have to eat some ramen noodles now. Now I'm gonna have to eat some ramen noodles. Thank you. Okay. This game has a lot of puzzles, but the story is really awesome. Lono is the one that told me to do this. So Lono gets the brownie points. Get my shield. Oh, I got some pants. Okay. Okay, nice. Oh, cool. We need a shirt now. Oh! I forgot there's a new Tarkov too. That you guys can play. It's on your phone. It's called Breakout Arena or Arena Breakout. Hold on, let me look at the name of it. I actually tried it and I think it's just like Tarkov. In fact, I kind of like it. It's called Arena Breakout. So if you have a phone that's relatively new, you should try this this Tarkov game called Arena Breakout. I think it's fun. I wish I could play it on my PC, but I can't figure out how to play it on my PC yet. What in the world? I really have to jump from this? You gotta be kidding me, bro. Okay. No way. I lost my controls. Oh, I'm not supposed to control it here? Look at how awesome this is. I want to play the new Street Fighter game, but I'm not paying money for it. When Mortal Kombat's coming out, and I'm going to get Mortal Kombat. I'm going to play Mortal Kombat on my channel. This is insane. This is nuts. Wow. Dude, we should have made a way bigger splash than that. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, this is just too cool. I shouldn't start playing this right now, y'all. I really should not start playing this yet. I'm gonna get hooked. Okay. Well, that was easy. I don't know why I'm whistling. What is that noise? Oh, hello. Oh my god, I can't get used to the buttons, dude. Nice, okay. Can I climb this, or can I knock that tree or that apple down or something? How do I jump, man? Oh, I see. There we go. Oh, that's much better. Can I jump off of this? I would probably die, wouldn't I? Oh my god, I'm getting addicted to this already. Uh-oh. Okay. Not good. Oh. This is the Purapad? Tells me where to go. Purapad? I thought it was the first boss, yeah. It wasn't, but I thought it was the first boss too. Like, legit. He's a good one? Okay. Good. Because I wasn't ready to fight something that big. Okay. Hey! There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, guys. I really shouldn't start playing this because I'm going to get hooked on it. The Garden of Time. The Temple of Time is visible. A lonely place. Nobody visits it. Uh-oh. It's like an iPad, Jess, yeah. Find Princess Zelda. Oh, lordy. That's just too cool. The graphics are so good. Oh, I think an apple fell. Oh, okay. So I can search these types of things, right? Beware of soldier constructs. Okay. Maintain a proper distance. Target your opponent. Swinging haphazardly will not yield results. Lock on. Thank you. Oh, I see. I see. Oh, nice. No. Are you joking? Do I want to jump? I think I want to jump. Yeah. There's a little frog. I swear I just saw a frog. Dude, I hit it. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Oh, that was cool. Uh-oh. There's a soldier guy. I think he saw me. I'm getting all kinds of stuff, boy. This is my kind of game. But I like these sky islands are pretty cray-cray, honestly. What happens if I whack a tree? Nothing. Nice. Going the wrong way. Go this way. I can't target it. Stupid. I know, you gotta get this game. It's just too good. Like, you have to get it. It's like an adventure. I can't wait until I'm, like, powerful. Oh no, here we go. Your turn, punk. Let's go. You guys are freaky. I'm gonna die. Run! I'm gonna die. How do I heal? There it is. Yeah. Yikes! It won't let me select the apple. What's going on? There we go. All right. Much better. Dude, I know I just picked that thing up. Oh. Oh, wow, that was tight. Ooh. Okay, I held that way too long. That was not good. I need a sword, man. I can't keep fighting with this garbage. So basically you can use fire to cook things. Yeah. Somehow. Alright, I gotta save this and get off here, guys. This stream is going too long. Let's see. What can I do here? It says I can, like, pick it up or something. Drop it? Did it drop it? I'm just not figuring this out yet. Oh, that's how I drop it. Son of a... Alright, so hold that there. Go over here and hit that. And is it going to cook it? Oh well, who cares? Tree branches suck. Pick up a lot of them. I'll save it when I get up here to this temple. Dude, I can't believe Penguins covered ZAV Girl. That is just so awesome. Like, a tragedy pimp was covered by one of the biggest YouTubers. Bowser. Bowser. Uh-oh. He's got some moves. Oh. Yeah, boy. Oh. Sword. That's what I'm talking about. Bowls, you okay, buddy? I know Bowser has to take a walk right now too, so I need to go take him a walk. Here we go. Let's get in here and I'll save it. This is what's cool about this game. It has a storyline. I kind of want to know what happens. I'm going to play the first one too.
That door will open only to those with sufficient power. I'm sorry. I did not intend to startle you. It was I that spoke to you earlier. That arm originally belonged to me. I am Raru.
Horse of the right arm.
Forgive me for appearing to you in this manner. Unfortunately, I no longer have a physical form.
You're a spirit. You're a ghost.
In any
Don't mess
case,
with ghosts,
that arm
bro.
should allow you to open this door. It seems to have lost the power to do so. You might be able to restore it, but you would need to enter a place filled with sacred light. Of course. Why not visit the shrines on this island?
Of course. Of course. Bowser, being good?
The shrines.
Being good?
Yes, I'm sure they are the key.
I'm addicted to my dog. Me and my dog literally just hang out all day together. That's all we do. We just hang all day. Kinda needed a little guy. Good thing I got one. Can't believe I got an Australian Shepherd like that. Like, it's nuts. Because I looked it up. Most people pay like good money for an Australian Shepherd. Here, buddy. We take you. Alright. Alright, guys. Pretty sure save like that. And we are golden girls. Alright. So, if you guys want to see my playthrough of Zelda, I'm going to try to upload it and play it live. So, that'll be fun. So, come hang out with me because I think it'll be even more entertaining than talking about some tragedy pimps. And I hope to see you tomorrow. I really do. I miss you. I miss streaming with you and doing my thing with live streaming. So I want to get back to live streaming. So anyway, I am though spending all of my money on you know what. So any support is massively important. We're scraping by. If you want to support us, it's paypal.me/UNIRock and $UNIRock on Cash App. Anything immensely helps. Even if you only want to donate a couple bucks, it really helps. You can also join the channel, subscribe, like here and on UNIRock 2. Follow me on TikTok, the links are in the chat, and follow me on Twitter at UNIRocktv, and I'll be back really soon. You guys have a good night, okay? Have a great... Lono, come in! Lono, did you see? Did you see, Lono? Did you see? We're gonna be playing Zelda 1 and 2, and I've got Mario Tennis, but it's kind of dumb. I hate to admit, it's fun as hell, but it's kind of dumb. This is gonna be awesome though, bro. I'm like so freaking happy about this. I gotta jump though, y'all. I gotta jump. My dog's gonna pee on the floor. So, also, my friend's book just launched. And I have a link where if you buy his book, it literally supports the show by giving me money. Now, I don't have that link in the description yet, but I will really soon. So if you're looking at getting a really good book, wait for me to put that link up, my affiliate link, which I just got like last night, because yes, I have been working, even though it seems like I'm not uploading a lot. I've still been doing everything I have to do. Keep things rolling. So I hope to see you tomorrow. You know what? Regardless of the small little show that I put on, we need to play some Zelda tomorrow. So let's do it. Let's get this thing going. See you tomorrow. If I'm not in tomorrow, I will be in the next day. I'm not going to leave you hanging.